Well, hello, it's Wednesday, so it must be time for Woolly Hat's Wednesday WIP. And you join me on a nice sunny day, but it's a bit windy, hence my hat. Now, this hat I made some years ago. It's a Colour Lab, and they did a series of yarn inspired by Zandra Rhodes, who visits Mid Wales every now and again, because we've seen her at the Berry Show. Anyway, so that's, and I just did double crochet in the back of the loop, so it's nice and stretchy. Lovely hat. And it's kept my hair from getting in the way because I was painting the boardwalk this afternoon. Anyway, what have I been doing with my knitting crochet? Well, I finished some big projects, as you probably might know if you've seen some of my old little missives. So the jumper's being given away and the blanket's being given away, and I've been doing some more of the Persian tiles, but I have just come back from, and I did a sock on a holiday in Scotland, and in holiday in Scotland I actually made some knitting purchases and some yarny purchases to remind me of my holiday. So the first one, excuse me, this is called the West Highland Way, Knit, Read and Walk, and this is by Kate Davies, who does a lot of sort of fairisle designs and traditional sort of Scottish designs. But I think she's based in Scotland. And so I bought this. I bought it from a lovely wool shop in Fort William, and I can't remember what it was called. However, it is the only wool shop in Fort William, and it's right on the main street, and it was lovely. And it only sold British yarn, which is fab. So there was lots of West Yorkshire Spinners, there was some Shetland yarns and all that kind of stuff. And they also sold Iona yarn, which I had bought some several years ago, and knitted a jumper with it. And when I was in Scotland, in Mull and Iona, I took my jumper back home, which was great. And the reception from the shop that sells wool was great. And I had a fantastic time wearing my Iona jumper in Iona. And the pattern was also called Iona, and it was by Sarah Hatton. Anyway, have a look at the last post. Anyway, so this is rather a nice book as a memento of the West Highland Way, which I did with my friend Gillian. And it's got lots of nice pictures of the West Highland Way, and lots of stories about the people who used to live there. But it's also got some rather nice patterns in. Lots of jumpers, and where is it? I should put this one out there. So there's a nice blanket there done in squares but in round, which is quite a clever technique. But there's also a nice fairisle cardigan there. Lots of, and the colours, I think the colours are fab because they match the scenery. She uses a lot of, she has her own wool, but she also has other stuff. And her own wool has mohair in it. So that would be nice and fairy. There's a nice, lovely pattern there, big baggy sort of fairisle jumper there. So that was my memento. So there's lots of things I'd like to knit in here, but I haven't decided what to yet. However, I may have an opportunity to, I need to think about it really, because this weekend is Wonder Wool Wales in Bulls Wales, which is sort of mid-south Wales. And it's their 20th year, their 20th anniversary, and I'm going with my mate Sue, and we're going to the Wonder Wool Wales show, which will be fantastic. It's a really big show. It's in the place where the livestock market, and they have the Welsh show there as well. It's a huge place, lots of different halls, and they have real sheep and goats, and they have lots of demonstrations and things like that. So it's a good way to spend a day. So that's what we're going to do. But there are some rules I have when I go to these shows, because you could end up spending lots and lots of money. And I'm amazed at how many people come out with bags and bags and bags of yarn and think, have they got time to knit all that? Because sometimes you don't. Anyway, so what I do is I tend to go round a whole place first, and I don't buy anything on the first pass, but I make a note of things that I'd like to go back, and I go back and have a look, and sometimes I buy. The other thing I do is I go with a list of projects that I might buy yarn for, so that I can know how much to buy and what weight of wool and what constitution of whether it's cotton or yarn or wool or whatever. So I try and do that. And then what I try not to do is succumb to the buy all this yarn for half price, because inevitably, unless you've got a project to do, you don't use it and it sits there and you go, you haven't used me yet, you haven't used me yet, why don't you know? So I try not to buy things in sales, because inevitably I don't think I use them wisely. So that's what I should be doing on Sunday. So that would be great. So, but I have got your other yarn that I bought in my holiday. When I was in Iona and showing off my jumper to the Iona Craft shop people, I saw that they were still selling yarn. I thought, well, it'd be rude not to. So I bought this. So this is 4-ply. See there, and the yarn here is made from the sheep on Iona. There aren't many sheep on Iona, which is why they have a limited stock. So you won't get this kind of stuff in the main shop, although they did sell them in full WIP. And what they do is they combine the wool. So there's quite a few different species on Iona, which we saw, and so they spin it, they get it spun, dyed, and then they sell it. So this is 4-ply. They also sell a weaving weight and a Aran and a bonnet as well. So I thought this might be nice as a base for a fairisle top jumper cardigan, because I've got lots of other bits of yarn, Jameson's Spindrift and all that kind of stuff. So one of the fairisle patterns in there might be one of what might be suitable for this. So we'll have to see. But yes, this is a nice big cone. Lovely. So that was my holiday purchase, and it will remind me of my holiday. So it means I'll have to go back to Iona to show off what I make with this. So I think that's all for me this week. I shall be trying not to spend too much money at Wonderwall, and I shall show you, or I might show you things I might have bought next week. You'll have to wait and see, won't you? Bye for now.